The reading of Christmas in Colonial Oswego, Grandfather's Christmas, a Tradition by William Hosea Ballou. Oswego County, northern New York, in the latter part of the 18th century was known as the Far West. A vast forest overrun with wild animals and Indians prevailed. The country and river derived their name from the Indian words Ashwagi, signifying the discharging place, in reference to the outlet of a chain of smaller lakes. The path made by ruminants on their way to water was called deeracy, a beetle used to drive a wedge home when splitting logs was made of a section of a tree, some 8 inches in diameter. The section was 1 foot in length, with iron rings about the ends and a long handle fastened in an auger hole midway between the ends. The rifle invariably hung on the wall, upheld by leather straps. It was the boast of the housewife that she could sit in the center of the only room the log cabin contained and reach all the different and small supply of household utensils from pockets in the logs. A sledge made of 2 hewn logs, turned up at the front ends with 1 cross piece, was used indefinitely to haul logs or carry the housewife on her tours of visitation. Remember be the Christmas day 100 years ago, among Oswego's snow-clad hills, the river's winding flow. Broad waters swept in grandeur by, with ice-encrusted ore. Deep were the snows, fast whirled the flakes, fierce was the blank pine's roar. A forest wild was all the land, with clearings here and there, denuded by bold pioneers who shunned nor toil nor care. With axe and beetle, sledge and wedge, with little time to rest, the woodmen wrought their homes to rear in the vast trackless west. Lone standing on a lofty hill of logs rough-hewn, there stood a cabin where my grandsire reared 6 children in the wood. 1 room alone was there for all, in which to sleep and live, and corn and fish were all the food the grandsire had to give. Mid flash of steel and crash of trees, fast grew the open space. Dark forest nooks soon changed to day, where ran the red deer's race. Rang out the merry laughter wild, as boys and girls at night piled brush in heaps and piled the torch till heaven reflected light. Amid the roar, flame, and spark, 1 tall tree stood unharmed, where nightly sat and hooted long the owl, all unalarmed. But in the shadows round about, the bear and panther prowled, and when the flames leaped to the skies, and anger fiercely growled. Remembered be the Christmas day, the first upon the hill. No harvest bins the grandsire cheered, no corn there was to mill. The logs were cleared for acres o'er, the ground was sown with wheat. But in the cabin on the hill, there was no bread or meat. The grandsire sat that early morn, with face bowed in his hand, and moaned aloud, there is no food with all my miles of land. The snows are deep, the village far, the storm goes raging past. No one can reach the neighbor's hut. This Christmas we must fast. The hungry children looked aghast, but Grandma tried to cheer. Fear not, she said, for God hath food for all his children here. But where went Vidi? I have not seen my eldest son today. What if in the drifted snow he lies, lost from the forest way? The grandsire leaped from off his seat, his face an ashen blue, and strode to haste to the wall straps to get his rifle true. He stopped amazed, no gun was there, nor powder, flask, nor ball. And springing through the cabin door, he loud began to call. The hurricane his deep tones drowned, the snow beat on his face. Loud o'er the storm, the dismal howl of wolves rang through the place. The children wept, the mother prayed, the old man gasped for breath. God pity us, he quoth in fear, the wolves will be his death. Just then, a proud stag bounded up close by the cabin door, when rang a shot, and the buck fell almost upon the floor, and panting through the deep late snow, thrown o'er his back a bag, with a wild turkey in one hand, came Vidi to claim the stag. There's corn all ground, he roared in glee. I got it at the mill. And with this bird and a big stag, I guess we'll have our fill. Caressed on every side, the boy a seat took by the fire, while Grandma clasped with joyful tears the hand of the proud sire. Did I not say, she gladly said, that God his children feeds? Hath he not sent Has he not sent from his own hand to satisfy our needs? Full soon the turkey roasted red, with steaks from the wild deer, and steaming Johnny cakes supplied the cabin with good cheer. Remember be that holiday of the long years ago, where roamed the stately Mohican by the stream Oswego. Long since the forest disappeared, the red man and his wild beasts, but where the old cabin stood, each Christmas thousands feast.